as a penal colony with convicts housed in tents, Australia today has a massive prisoner network with hundreds of jails. From small courtroom cells for temporary petty offenders to giant maximum security fortresses housing those classified as never to be released. Now, the gates are being unlocked to allow unprecedented and extraordinary access. For the first time, exclusively, a veteran senior commander shares his intimate knowledge of prison life. Ron Woodham, the Corrective Services Commissioner, the legendary reformer who changed the system forever. Follow these dedicated guards into their strict, disciplined workplace. A huge and complex industry run with military precision, where thousands of short and long-term prisoners must be safely transported, fed and cared for. Where gangs and ethnic groups must be separated and females cared for in jails of their own. A vast, hidden world, controlled, educated and rehabilitated. How'd you go from being a shearer to a corrections officer? How did that happen?
It was fairly easy, really. You know.
Do you remember the first day?
I sure do. One fellow came up to me and he said, "Hey," a big tall criminal. I looked up at him and he said, "Does your mummy know you're here?" I said, "As a matter of fact, she does." Couldn't think of anything else to say.
Was it primitive? Was it dangerous for both you and the inmates?
I can remember getting reprimanded for talking to a prisoner.
Or just talking to him?
Just talking to them through the fence. And you're not here to talk to prisoners, just open the gate. And by a senior officer, and now you get into trouble if you don't.
Do you think that the great advantage you had over others is that you'd come from the bottom rung to the top rung and you saw all the levels in between?
Yeah. And coming through the real dangerous phase of prisons in New South Wales and the riots and hostage takings, and being in charge of that area too put me in good stead, I think, to manage the whole system further on in my service. Because on some occasions they're handling people they don't know what they're really in here for.
For almost half a century, Ron Woodham has stood nose to nose against some of the country's hardest criminals.
You know, there's thousands of years jail in these yards here, thousands.
It's true. It's true. I respect you. I don't like you, but I respect you.
How do you know him, old mate?
He's kept me here for 20 years.
I stopped him escaping from Long Bay.
What, when he was a prison officer?
Oh, no, when
when I stopped him escaping from Long Bay.
You did, personally?
Yeah.
He has stopped the real players. He stopped them, but it's cost a lot of other people.
One of the things that is very successful is the segregation of prisoners in maximum security.
Yeah, well, the Goulburn's the only jail that really happens in, but it's not segregation, it's separation.
Right.
In that real heavy environment when they first come to jail, and they've got that real drive to be a group and a powerful group and try and take control. Just by separating them and leaving them with their own kind, it works quite well.
Started here with an Asian inmate who was murdered, stabbed 56 times. From there it became more or less a tit for tat where various groups didn't like what happened to one of theirs.
Goulburn Jail itself is now a crime scene.
Not only did we have the murders, but we also had a number of serious stabbing incidents as well. And it seems to just get out of control.
Well, this area here is known as the Circle. It's an original Goulburn design that allows the groups of prisoners to be separated.
We've got a white Anglo-Saxon yard, we would have a Middle Eastern yard, a Koori yard, an Asian yard. The whole purpose behind that is to prevent violence from happening between the ethnic groups.
You been here before?
No, first time.
Yeah. Your last time?
First and last time, yeah. It goes without saying, you miss your family a lot, but at the end of the day, when you're doing crime, you don't think of the consequences until you come here.
At the moment, we don't have any more than 50 inmates in any one yard at any one time, which is a lot easier to manage than 500 inmates. That has contributed significantly to reducing the incidents at this centre of staff assaults, inmate assaults, and also murders.
Yeah. I give it to the pedophiles, that good stuff, right? I give it to them.
They're in here somewhere, aren't they?
Yeah, I do. In 2 yards.
They hate the pedophiles.
Yeah.
So the pedophiles are kept in another area altogether,
Another
are
yard, handled separately.
they? Yeah.
And it's you can't let them mix. Can't let them.
These blokes want to get older.
Yeah, they would. They do.
Yeah. Is that hard to manage?
Untold damage. No, the officers here are right on it. Who can mix with who? And as they bring the yards in and lock them away, they're done separately, yard by yard. Yeah, some of them have still got a code that you don't touch women, you don't touch kids, as you saw over there, you don't touch kids.
Child murderers, child sex offenders are just two of those categories that the community has a great deal of trouble dealing with. People can sign on to protection for a whole raft of different reasons. It might be because of the nature of their crime, money that they owed outside, for drug deals. For all of those reasons, an inmate can request to go on protection.
A special management inmate, he's an inmate that has a problem with other inmates. Sometimes a high profile person may come into custody, we wouldn't want those people mixing with the normal jail population, so we'll put them on a non-association status until we can assess the level of threat against them, and then we may, down the track in their sentence or their remand time in custody, we may re-evaluate that.
These blocks are in the immediate action team, those officers that are showing.
Are they here all the time, or just specifically here today?
Whatever the prisoners are out.
Is there any particular yard that gives you more concern as one of the officers?
They're all very similar. The protections are a lot quieter than the main jail, I guess. But yeah, any time.
What would happen one day if you just opened all these gates and they got together?
Well, that's a...
Be bloodshed.
Yeah, it would be straight away. Yeah, terrible, yeah.
So have you got to keep a closer eye on those people under protection than others?
Well, most definitely, yeah. Well, that's why we have the different areas, so they're monitored everywhere they go.
Ron, I'm buggered if I know how your officers deal with this on a daily basis. You know?
Yeah, well, they do, as you see, and they're quite normal. The officers are very normal, and they've got a terrific temperament for handling these people.
Yeah.
The kinds of accommodation that inmates can expect is something like you can see here. We'll have 2 inmates in here. They'll be in here for quite a number of hours in the day. We let go at about 8 o'clock in the morning and we lock them back up at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
We move 8 inmates at a time. Those inmates are managed all the way out into the yard. Once they're in the yard, we get acknowledgement, then we do the next lot, and we just continue that process until all the inmates are secured in whichever yard they belong to.
Have you already eaten? You're about to fire up now.
No, we're finished. We get moved into another yard now.
Do you?
Yeah, sausages and meat and stuff.
So you're the chef?
No, everyone takes turns.
Oh, right, just do your own stuff.
Yeah.
Essentially, an inmate has the ability to either through working, if he works he gets paid a nominal wage, or the family may deposit money into his private cash account. The inmate then once a week has the ability to purchase foodstuffs.
At times, the inmates will be less than happy about something that's going on. There is certainly a feeling that comes over the jail when that happens. I don't know whether it's a sixth sense, but as soon as you enter the correctional centre, you can certainly feel it. And I think it's an animal reaction. You just know the hairs on the back of your neck stand up.
All your mates up against the wall! 6 yards up against the wall now! On the wall, let's go!
Staff will commence the search of the inmates.
6 yards up against the wall now!
To us, the most serious things that we can find are escape implements, followed by syringes. They're very, very dangerous in a jail environment. We've got information that there perhaps could be drugs in the yard, but they're bowerbirds, they pick up anything. And with that, they can create anything. They're very, very, very good at what they do. I mean, they've got a lot of time to think about what they do. Oh, sharpened toothbrushes, bits of timber, bits of wood broken off things, bits of metal off fans. Everyday items that you have within a correctional centre can be turned into a weapon. They're not particularly fussy how good they look as long as they work. All officers have gloves to protect their hands while they're searching the equipment. What they do is a pat search of the inmates to see what's in their pockets and so forth. We've got 10 officers including myself, and that's standard. We've got tower officers up there, armed and ready. That's our officer, our gas operator. What will happen if things get a little bit awry or the inmates start playing up too much and a proclamation's given, and if they don't obey that proclamation, then the gas is deployed. It's quite nasty, gets you very quickly. And as you can see here, we've just found some motors out of a cassette. Looks like a Walkman or something like that. They use those to make tattoo guns. Once again, they're a problem in jail because of the spread of hepatitis C and HIV. So we need to get rid of these sort of things out. So that's a significant find.
Here's the staples they'll use as the needle.
The tattoo guns.
The tattoo gun.
So that's a good find today. We've done well. Surprising enough, a lot of inmates don't like these things in jail any more than what we do. They're just as prone to diseases and to be stabbed, of course, just like anyone else. So yeah, that's where we get most of our information. Part of ongoing searches, we'll keep looking and we'll keep finding them.
At least 3 separate feuds have seen clubhouses torched, bikers bashed and nightclubs shot up.
Outlaw motorcycle gangs have been in the news, but you've got an interesting theory about dealing with these people individually, which you've told me about before.
They don't wear their colours in jail. You might say, well, that bloke's a bikie, but you wouldn't know what gang he belonged to. And it's the only time in their life where they're made to do what someone else wants. Because out there, they do what they want. When they come to us, we say, you're going there, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
And if you play up, rear your head, we warn them, you rear your head, you'll vanish. You'll be taken right out of circulation. Yeah, and some of the heavies have got their property packed all the time. There's a knock on the door and they say, where am I going? Shut up and get in the car. You'll find out. And then 300 or 400 kilometres away, they can go back to sleep. You could go to bed in Grafton and wake up at Kempsey, or go to bed in Bathurst and wake up at Goulburn next morning.
And keep them on the run, eh?
Just keep them on the move. We've got a jail on the road every day. We escort around 160,000 prisoners a year and travel 3.5 million kilometres. 90,000 of those movements are to and from court.
Yeah.
The others are from jail to jail.
What we do provide to inmates when they're on these classification escorts is a bottle of water, a small snack bar, and if the trip is any longer than 3 hours, we must have a rest stop where we provide the inmate with exercise at a secure location. So that could be anywhere from a police station to one of the correctional centres en route. What we do have is we've got a wide range of vehicles, and they range from the truck we're sitting in now, which is a 14-seat inmate escort vehicle. We also have a 4-cell eye-load van, and that's specifically used for transporting a small number of inmates that can't associate. We can actually observe them from our cab via CCTV and through an inmate cell alarm call system. So if there's any difficulties within the cell, all the inmate has to do is press an alarm call button, and the alarm is communicated to the driver and the co-driver in the front of the vehicle. We have a logistical arm, which is our transport unit, and we also have a court security arm here at the central court cells.
What's your date of birth, Lou?
It starts at about 8 in the morning when we receive first truck in, and it just doesn't stop from there. You know, you get inmates down to legal visits firstly, then they're down to court, and you've got strip searches to do, property to sort out, lodgements to do, put them in, and they've got to have legal visits, and then down to court, and it just doesn't stop until court finishes at 4 o'clock.
What's your full name? Okay, you're in our custody at the moment. We'll take you down the cell, take the cuffs off you, we'll put you in here, strip search you, and you'll wait to go to court.
The fresh custodies which are freshly arrested by police can come in for any reason. It can be a new charge, it can be a breach of bail, it can be a breach of bond.
Here we are, another person on a sick poxy charge.
It's fear of the unknown, you know, they're really scared when they first come in, sort of thing, because they don't know what to expect. They're very nervous when they come in. Most of the time, you know, some of them are crying. You see some big blokes that you'd be, you know, scared of on the street coming here crying because, you know, they don't want to go to jail.
Turn around, mate. Turn around.
He's kicking the doors, he bangs the perspex, yells and screams. A lot of it's attention seeking. But, yeah, and you'll have other inmates across from them, we'll see the way they are, they'll try to stir them up just for their own entertainment. I know this sounds bad, but we have regulars. He's not the only one, we have quite a number. A lot of them are street people. And it's not unusual, certainly leading into winter, to have some of the street people will commit a minor crime just to be arrested to spend winter in jail, because they're going to get 3 meals a day, rip over their head, etc.
One coming up.
Four and 20.
Morgan, you got a legal visit, man.
Smith.
You're up.
Have you got a smoke?
Just wait for your paperwork. It can take a couple of hours, so once you get it, we'll get you out. I'd be scared if I was put in there, you know, I mean, it's not just the job sort of thing, and being in such a tight spot, knowing you can't get out of there, it'd mess with your head, you know, and I don't know how some of these guys keep doing it. Most of the time it's the pull of drugs, you know, it gets stuck into them and they're done. So it's just the life of crime.
I'm supposed to get out of the mask, but I'll probably get out about 2 or 3 months.
One coming up.
Yeah, we have to tell them they're bail granted, not met. Some guys take it all right, some guys don't. You know, some guys will just get really angry. It happens a lot where, you know, people come in and they get bail granted and ring up their acceptable person and put up money for them, but they just say, no, I'm done with you. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of putting up this money and losing it, because every time they breach their bail, they lose that money, so they just won't do it. What's your mum's name?
So she has to deposit.
She has to deposit $500.
We'll call her now.
She's got to agree to forfeit $1,000.
Yeah, you'll have to go and deposit $500 at the nearest courthouse or police station with the details of your son's name, and then he can be released on bail. Okay, no worries. Okay, fine. Done. She's going to Downing Centre, level 4, so it won't be too long. She's depositing $500 and he has to do $1,000.
Hey, you know you have to deposit $1,000? Does he have it? Do you have $1,000? You don't?
His mum's going to have to have
Yeah,
1,500.
because she just has to show proof that she's got the money in the account or she's got some way of paying it. All right? So you just got to make sure that you don't run or anything like that, because then she'll lose it.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm calling from the Central Local Court cells. Your son is currently in our custody. Yes. What's happened is your son has been up to court this morning. He's just come down from the court and he's been granted a conditional bail, which has got some residential conditions, and one of those conditions is that he has to be conveyed to a rehabilitation facility at Gorman House, and you have to do that. I've just phoned up your mother and told her what the terms and conditions of your bail are, and she says she's not going to be able to drive in here today and do that for you. So at this stage, unless you can get the conditions changed, unless your legal aid can get the conditions changed, you'll be getting what we call a bail granted not met warrant, which means that you won't be getting released.
Normally people are drug users and that sort of stuff. It's an ongoing problem, an ongoing issue for the family and friends, and quite often in those circumstances people say no. They're just not prepared to go the bail again because that person's just too hard to handle basically when they're on the outside and using their drugs. He will remain in custody until the conditions can be met. He may actually be remaining in custody now until his next court date, which may be a week or two away.
Take him down to the passage through to the dock.
Those who don't make bail are transferred to one central prison, the Reception and Remand Centre.
Yeah, been yellow. I do. I think the big house is full, mate.
So this is it, eh? This is a jail within a jail.
This is Supermax.
Yeah, this is a Supermax.
Oh, you actually did it on the truck? Yeah. They're using our location as a transit. You know where you are? Silverwater Jail. Do you know when you're going back to court?
No.
You're going back to court on the 27th and the 4th of April. You're going at Penrith. Okay. In the meantime, been in jail before?
Yeah.
You don't need protection?
Pardon?
You don't need protection?
No.
Your date of birth?
14/10/82.
You know where you are?
Yeah,
Silverwater Jail. You know why you're here?
Bridge Trial.
Okay.
What's your min number, Jamie?
47849.
Okay, first five. First five, we do five at a time, eh? Yep, five, thank you. Any five.
Yeah, approximately the MRC here, we have approximately 40,000 inmate movements per year, which roughly is about 4,000 per month we basically do.
It's just like a factory, and a human factory in a way of coming and going, but they do have these real good risk intervention teams, and not only the prison officers but the psychologists and welfare and the chaplains and everyone do a great job as a team in case managing some of these offenders.
They're using our location as a transit, so they're using this centre as like a converging area, then a redistribution again, according to logistically.
I'm off to Bathurst, baby.
What's with the cameras, man? Don't worry about it.
Socks off inside out for me.
We strip search everyone. That's policy dictates that we've got to strip search everyone coming in custody and when they go out to different centres.
Just lift for me, turn around, show me your feet, lift up.
Okay, good, Bruce.
And the Commissioner insists a lot on security of the jail. We look for contraband, we look for weapons, for drugs, syringes, mobile phone, anything we can get, just not approved property, yes.
Say welcome to the underworld.
Can you look your eyes in the mirror, please?
What's happening in there is we are registering all the inmates' detail. For example, our fingerprints, we take the eyes, a photo of the iris, photos of any tattoos and what they've got on their body.
No? Yeah.
So this is a means for us to identify anyone who's in custody.
The same as these guys? We also have inmates that are serving custodial sentences that have ongoing court matters, so they'll come down from various correctional centres across the state and they'll arrive here and obviously when their court's finished they'll return back to their jail of classification, or they will return to a centre that they've been classified through depending on the custodial sentence, should and if they receive one from the courts.
Andrew, no more jumpers.
Everyone coming in custody must be changed in prison greens, yes.
Yes.
There's a sloppy Joe, there's shirts, shorts, socks, and a pair of shoes, volleys that we give them.
Well, when your bail comes through, mate, we'll get the paperwork and we'll get rid of you, mate. But until we see the paperwork, there's nothing we can do.
Okay, take everything out of these bags here and stick it in the carry-on.
Everything follows him where he goes. He's got his property follows him. If he's got any valuables, we'll follow him. If he's got any money, the money gets transferred electronically to wherever he's going. Okay, we register everything that he's come from wherever they're coming from. We've registered everything on our system. He doesn't have access to any of them until he gets moved from MRRC to another centre. Then everything follows him wherever he goes.
Could I get a property printout while I'm here?
Come inside, come and talk to me inside and we'll address the issue. Come this way. First time in jail?
Yeah.
Okay. Relax, it's life as normal here. Treat the people the way you want to be treated. I can't help you with the cigarette. It's just put up with me. I got to change you. I got to feed you. I got to see medical stuff to see you.
What's he still on over?
Mate, don't worry about it. Just more for me. I'm a movie star. Did you go to Central? Mate, can you give me a feedback on this guy who's tried to kill himself?
Yeah, he wrapped it around, sat on the floor. We then spoke to him on the intercom.
Oh, he actually did it on the truck?
Yeah, he did it in the back of the truck.
Okay.
So he spoke to him on the intercom and said, stop, start behaving yourself, and he got up. We said we're going straight to the jail. So
what I've done, just making you aware, I'm preparing for all possible scenario, which is I prepare a cell, which is what we call a dry cell, where I'll be putting this inmate if it is unmanageable. Come with me, mate. Just follow me. So he actually tried to strangle himself on the truck.
Himself, yeah.
Okay, do you know what the issue is?
Methadone.
Come with me, but just relax. Yeah. What's your name? Careful. Hopefully I'll be able to relate to him. And see how we go. Can I let you go? Can I let go of this guy? You alright?
Yeah.
Mate, they told me that you tried to put a thing around your neck. What's all about?
Well, this is what happened. I got arrested at my house.
Yeah. When?
Would have been not yesterday, day before.
Yeah. Hey, come inside away from the others. Come inside. Come this way, mate. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you in the cell. I'm going to get the nurse to check you out. And hopefully we'll be able to sort out...
That's not that from that. That's
but mate, still, it's my concern.
Yeah.
You know, to me...
That's from a girl. That's all. It is.
Mate, I believe you. I believe you.
No,
but still, it's my concern.
Yeah, that's fine.
You got something, I'm going to get the nurse to check you out.
That's fine.
And hopefully we'll be able to sort out your methadone. Can you step in there, please?
Yeah, no worries.
You're not going to do it again?
No, just...
Sure. I understand. Look.
Just more of a attention-seeking thing, you know?
I was able to have a rapport with him where it de-escalated the situation, it became quite manageable, and it was a result best for him And for us.
They said methadone was in the bag. I bought it from home. It's in a bag, 2 bottles.
Okay, you understand that
They
is
said,
the issue.
they said it's on the truck.
Listen to me, that's an issue. I can't give you that, right? Because it's
got my name on it and everything.
Listen to me. You got to understand where you are and what's happening, right? I can't give it to you, but what we'll be able to do once you see medical staff, we'll be able to tell where you've been dosed, when you've been dosed, who the doctor is, and we'll get you those, all right?
Yeah.
We're going to try to do that, okay? So work with me.
I've been in a fair while now, currently my 28th year. When I first came to, I started at the old Nsw Prison, Long Bay, and there was a lot of, there was no such thing as the level of care we have for inmates these days.
For you and me, I'm not going to tell you any bullshit. It's going to be a long night.
She said as soon as I get back to Surrey Hills, she'll give me my dose.
I understand, okay? Leave it with me.
It's the first purpose-built facility for women in New South Wales. A person can graduate with the programs we've got from high need to medium need to low need. Got it all here in the one facility.
You had a really good saying about women that you have under control and men about the way you deal with men and women.
Yeah, well, women are high need, low risk. The men are reversed. They're high risk and low need.
Right.
So when you put a program online like Delwinia, you've got to be able to cater for their high need. You know, majority of them have been abused, sexually and physically abused as a child and as an adult. Well, that person needs all the help we can give.
Yeah. When you told me we were coming to a women's jail, I didn't think I'd see playground equipment. And so what's this to try and normalise it so the kids...
Yeah, we want it to be as normal as possible, as outside as we can. And most of these women have children, and a lot of kids come here every weekend. We also have a facility outside the jail where people can drop little children off, and they look after the kids while the adults come in and see the inmate. When we were designing this place, Gloria Jeans approached us. We jumped at the opportunity. And
so the inmates man the Gloria Jeans?
That's right. Yeah. And some of them go out and are working in Gloria Jeans shops outside.
Where did the ideas come from? Where did you go? Where did you drag it all together from?
Well, Mullawa is a jail at Silverwater, which contained these women previously. And our numbers were growing, that's one thing. They were in one another's face all the time. As you see here, the outlay of this place is like a university campus. You wouldn't think you're in a jail.
No.
I selected this site and had a lot of opposition from protesters that came out here and protested about the women coming here. Those same people now tell you it's the best thing.
Another 6 weeks, I get out. I got sentenced the other day.
How old are you? You don't look old enough to be here. What age
No,
are you?
I'm 23.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're young looking 23. I'm tipping you haven't had an easy life, but...
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't been with my family since I was 9. But I do have a partner, which I guess sort of does help me here and there. I'm only in here for breach of parole because of my drug habit.
Yeah. How long will you be on parole?
Well, all up I got 4.5 years, but I already done 2.5 in Juniperina, like juvie, and then 2 years on parole.
You've got to take a real notice of your parole officer and go straight to them if you get into trouble.
Well, that's what I did end up doing, and they ended up breaching me. I told them I need help with my drug problem.
Yeah.
And they thought that being in jail would help me more, which...
Has it or not?
It's made me meet a lot of good girls that have helped me, but it's not the life I want. Like, it's not an easy path. Like, it's easy for them to just sit there and say, yeah, go to jail and fix yourself up, but it's not easy like that. Do you know what I mean?
You know, I know it seems stupid at 20, but in 10 years your life could be completely and utterly different. I know it's tough.
It's up to me at the end
of the day.
I know.
Anyway.
All right. All the best. You get your name to me, okay?
Okay.
Right.
Do you want me to go get your pen and paper?
Thanks for looking after.
Okay.
No worries.
Thanks.
Let's go.
Right, see you, girls.
See ya.
Ta-da.
How are you?
How you going? So this is quite incredible what these girls do for the Peen in Westmead, and looking at the skill level involved, you tell me they couldn't sew on a button when they got
The
here.
whole three of them in there, Ray, couldn't sew on a button when they got here, and they've been self-taught by a couple of the other ones that inmates that have since left the institution. Pretty high quality, and like I said, you know, we've done about 1,200 pieces for the Westmead and the Peen Hospital in the last 12, 18 months. Pretty special program. We get a lot of support from the general manager here and the security manager, and also the commissioner.
Got a greyhound rescue here.
This is where the greyhounds go if they can't run fast enough.
The greyhounds are assessed by Greyhound Racing New South Wales.
Mm.
They're all ex-racing dogs. Because we work so closely together with the inmates and the dogs, we're working for the same thing.
Good, yeah. Be here for a while. I'm going to use it to my advantage. I want to do I'm doing an animal studies course at the moment, and I end up when I'm doing the traineeship. So
You said very quickly, I want to be here for a while.
yeah.
You know, and you know, that sort of flows off the tongue pretty quickly from you.
Because I've accepted it. I know it's going to be, that's the situation.
Yeah.
So
Is that part of the deal, accepting your fate and then getting on with your life as best you can?
yeah, you have to, once you accept this as your, this is the best you can do with what you can do at the moment,
Yeah.
you can sort of do it your time a lot easier.
So, Mark, the animals come here in a distressed state and you rehabilitate them.
That's right, they could be injured through any way coming to us.
But there's a great story about one of these cockies and how this cocky enabled you to do a whole lot of extension in terms of the wildlife park. Tell us what happened.
It was a galah, and a woman had to go into hospital, and we cared for a galah. Unfortunately, she didn't come out of hospital and died. And I received a phone call in head office one day from her lawyers saying that she'd left $180,000 for us in a will.
For looking after the galah?
To look after the galah.
I've worked with a lot of these inmates for the last 6 years, both over in the jail and then out here in the work location. I've seen a huge change.
And you bring the handlers over from Dilwinia to here, the female prisoners,
yes,
through the day, and they help you, but I believe you've even got someone on site as a caretaker, a prisoner.
Yeah, we have. We've got an inmate that lives out here as a caretaker. And she attends TAFE 2 days a week.
I've been here 4 years this October.
And a fair while to go?
6 years to go.
6 years to go. How many kids you got?
4.
Age range?
25 is the eldest and 13 is the youngest.
Well, given those circumstances, how do you deal with this incarceration on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, basically the key for me personally is to keep mentally active. Did some studies last year at university, and some of these are my assignments for university. So I needed to do a charcoal crayon drawing, so these were my 2 assignments. I think the key is to give encouragement to the girls, to show them that there is a good life out there to be made, but they need to apply themselves to that good life, and it's only they can help themselves. No one else can help them.
Control to the MOS, Mr. Hopkins. 23.
And of course, you got the worst of the worst in there.
Among them, backpacker killer Ivan Milat, multiple murderer Lindsay Rose, and Central Coast massacre gunman Malcolm Baker.
There's 3 people in being convicted of 18 murders between them, 7, 6 and 5. And 2 of them are madmen as well. Not just bad, they're mad.
Now, Ron, we've just come through one checkpoint here for security. How many more before we get to Supermax?
Oh, well, you've got to go through it again, probably a bit more stringent, lift your trousers up and things like that over in the Supermax, so you go through it again, probably a little bit more detail over there.
So trucks come from here, there's an X-ray machine there, and everything that comes into the place gets X-rayed?
Yeah. All their property comes through here in an X-ray machine.
Everything?
Everything. All their meals when they come in, are x-rayed.
What, every meal for the Supermax?
Yeah.
Every meal?
Every meal comes through here to be x-rayed, to make sure there's nothing in it. In the main jail, we've had an example on one occasion where a prisoner working in the kitchen put a mobile phone in the tray of food and it got picked up here on the x-ray machine.
I don't think people have had any understanding that the food is x-rayed, but that's an attempt to make sure you're one step in front of the prisoners.
Exactly right.
They're always trying you on, always trying?
They'll always try. If there's a way there, they'll get it.
Yeah.
We've had one occasion where a mobile phone got smuggled into the Supermax. Straight away, we assumed, and we were correct, that a prison officer had been corrupted and brought them in. And that officer went through an ICAC hearing and got dealt with.
How do you feel when one of your officers is detected doing something that's corrupt, in the case of this officer?
In this case, the prisoners worked on the officer, in my opinion, and started off with just little favours, and then it got to bring something in for money. Some of them are experts at corrupting people.
Yeah. We've got the entry there. We've got another entry here, so we don't see...
That's great.
What's that? We ain't going anywhere now, right?
No, that's right. We're in.
Oh, jeez. So this is it, eh? What?
Yeah, we've just left the main entrance to the complex.
Oh, jeez.
This is a jail within a jail. You've got to come into Goulburn Jail to get into this jail.
This is Supermax?
Yeah, this is a Supermax, and it's got no external entry direct to it.
Everything's inside?
Yeah, everything's inside. That's one of the aspects of security here.
It's not exactly aesthetically pleasing, is it?
No.
It's just...
And what we've got here is electrified fence. On top of that, no climb fence. You'll see the other side of it shortly.
Yeah. If I grab hold of it, what happens to me?
It throws you off it. It doesn't...
Won't kill me?
It doesn't pull you to it.
Throws me off.
It'll throw you off it and you'll fall back down.
You know, you come here a lot. People like me that come here for the first time, you have a picture of what you're going to expect, but it's even a bit more daunting than what you come to expect. Is that the reaction that most get?
Yeah, and of course everything's under camera footage. We're on probably 2 or 3 cameras, 2 cameras at least at this point in time.
Premier today officially opened the new high-risk management unit for the very worst, most violent prisoners in the state.
What was the reason for it? What was the thinking from the then government and the then corrective services about needing this facility? Why did we need it?
Well, we had to have you can't just keep people in segregation.
Yeah.
It's a short-term option.
Yeah.
What we needed is a long-term housing option for the worst criminals in Australia. 1 year here in Goulburn, we had 4 murders in 1 year.
In this jail?
In the main jail.
In the main jail, not of course in this section.
And so we had to isolate and get people right out of circulation that were causing these problems. Just say a leader of a gang out in the main jail is the most powerful crim in the place.
Right.
So if you take the head off the body, put the head in here, and leave the body out there withering, and then really jam them up and breathe down their necks. And if they step out of line, segregate them in different jails and split them up.
Does the wriggling body become compliant once the head's in here?
Yes.
Bar Malat, say, who's caused you no end of trouble, he doesn't like you.
Yeah, but he likes his food. Everything they've got in here, if they've got a toaster or a microwave or something like that, you can unplug it and take it.
Yeah.
Everything can be unplugged and taken off them, so you end up with nothing.
What's going on here? Well, they call this the rocky road of the gravel pit or something, do they?
As you can see, this is what's called the sterile zone.
Yeah.
And you can see the tower down the end.
Yeah, up the end.
There's one on the other corner over there. You can see down this way and that way, this tower. And this is a sterile zone. So they've got to breach this maximum security wall to get to the masonry maximum security wall with barb tape on top.
Yeah.
And if you walk on this of a night, you can hear it. It's unbelievable. You can hear it from one end of the jail to the other.
So if they don't see you, they're going to hear you?
Yeah. Well, they'll see you because this has got motion detection. So any thing now would be breaching a motion detector, and it'll be coming up on the screens that someone's in here.
Now, why do they call it Supermax?
Yeah.
So this is it, eh?
This is the entrance to the Supermax.
Well, I'll give you a tip. If it's as hard to get out as it is to get in, no one's getting out.
We hope.
That's a general idea of it, I suppose.
It is.
This is Supermax.
Yep.
The house that Ronnie built. This isn't done for the cameras.
No.
This is standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
Barry O'Farrell comes here, he gets the same treatment. Can I have a look at that?
We're in excess turnover of 35 million a year. Disley Jones, how are they? You been cutting up?
That's my mum, that's my old man. They're people's sons, fathers. They could well live next door to you or work beside you.
Okay, we're officers from the State Emergency.
I've just received a phone call that a visitor is going to bring in some drugs with a balloon